agreement, and basically in the agreement it says within 6 months after, they have to pay for the approach upfront, and then in the agreement says within 6 months after that, they have to finish the driveway. We're not just gonna make an approach to grass.
That's good.
Yeah.
We need more double driveways.
That brings me to my point, though. If we're cutting up the curves, why can't we do some of those cutouts like you see in other cities? So that we get cars a little farther out of the road. You know, like somebody you know promised he'd do.
Oh, you're talking about, what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about
Take up a little bit of the easement and make it parking.
leave the approach where it is, cut it out 3 foot. That way these cars get out of the street. As we do that, if we did it as we do it, we could solve this problem without going to telling people they can't park in the street or making streets one way.
Once again, I'd have to look to see what the width of the easement is in those areas. I know we're pretty close to the width of easement there. We may only have 5 feet behind the curve on both sides on that.
Well, let me ask it this way, let me change it. What if somebody went to their front yard and they cut that out car width wide on their own, put their own curve and everything?
Just 3 feet further up into their.
Yeah, just pull the width of a car, not the length, the width.
And generally, in theory, it does what you're saying, get the car off the road.
Yeah.
But generally, what happens is it affects the drainage, because the drainage won't, it depends
But I'm
on.
worried more about cars in the way than I am drainage right now.
Well, the key to a long-lasting road is the drainage, keeping the water off the street.
From going under it.
From going under it. Once it's under it, that's when you're gonna lose everything. You're either you gotta keep the water from going through it and under it, or coming up from the bottom, from like a spring. That's why we soon stabilize the base.
Just trying to solve what's gonna be an ugly issue down the road.
One of the things also,
If you go to Monticello,
Mhm.
where Bailey is, you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've
Some of
designed
those new apartments on Roberts Cutoff and
Yeah.
White Settlement, they did that.
But
it.
let me ask you this, if somebody did that to their own property, that parking place is theirs, right? If they cut it out in their own yard, it's their
It's
parking.
not their yard.
If it's up in the right of way.
In the right of way, it's still the city, the city'd have to agree to it and make the drainage work.
Yeah. 'Cause this is the other issue I'm seeing now, people are parking across the street from their houses.
Sure.
And it's causing people who live there to not even pull their cars in the driveway. They're leaving their cars out front to stop their neighbors from parking out front of their house. And you can see the street sweeper when he goes by, you can see the cars that are getting left out front.
So Marvin or Gordon, can you give us just an idea of the people that are opting for the double entry, they're paying additional costs, can you give us an idea of what that's costing them?
$1,000, usually right at $1,000 per driveway, sir.
Okay.
Yes, for their portion.
What is the agreement that they're gonna finish the driveway in 6 months? If that doesn't happen, what's our enforcement mechanism?
I think we just have to go through, code and basically that agreement that we have an actual physical agreement that gets signed. And I've only did 3 on Birch Street, and, that wanted to proceed and go through, and they had full intentions, and they have done that since. But I had a total of 6, and when they found out they had to extend that driveway, they didn't want to do it. They just want to keep parking on the grass.
So I couldn't hear all that, but, so 3 of them agreed to do it, and they have actually done it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir. And the other 3, I had a total of 6 that approached me, and the other 3 backed out because they didn't want to finish the driveway.
Right, because that'd be considerably more money than the $1,000. Right?
Yeah. I'm in that agreement when I set that forward, I'm very stern about it, and they, because one is they have to, move fast because we're moving fast down the street, and, thoroughly go over the agreement with them, very stern about it, and most of them have had plans in the making for years, to get it done, and they had the money to do it.
And there they
Right,
are.
but that is a potential solution to Johnny's issue, is that if people would do that, then they go from a single to a double, and it gets to the car
Yeah.
off the street.
Yes,
Right. And that's the next issue that I know you're gonna bring up before too long, is putting in sidewalks, and that's gonna make this whole issue worse, 10 times worse. When you start trying to put a sidewalk somewhere like Yale, where we're having these parking issues, and you put a sidewalk across there, and then now people can't park in that part of their driveway, that's another car in the street.
a lot of people wanted, part of the sidewalk issue, yes, that's in a planning, you would want to plan for those sidewalks. CDBG has approached us in the back. When we did Bird Street, want to know where the sidewalks were, because they had some requirements with sidewalks, and we were able to, get those dismissed in that area. And so, as, you know, as their money goes forward, that, may be more of a requirement. But without a full sidewalk plan for the city, then we were able to get that resolved.
Well, I know I went to a presentation that you gave with the Castle ISD where,
Let's say sidewalks.
yes, that's gonna be a real problem.
Like in my case, I lose 2 parking places. Now, I got room for 6, so I'm down to 4, but in my case, I would lose 2 parking places.
Okay.
Because of the sidewalk, I couldn't park over the sidewalk.
Well, I know that block of, Almena needs it bad, but, bottom line, we found a project that fits with the budget, so I think that, proceeding with, this project on, Black Oak and Linda is the way to do it. So, I think staff has done a good job on this.
Indeed.
Have any action on it?
I always think that, it doesn't sound that way.
Right.
Go ahead, close public hearing.
We
And we already closed it. We were just messing with
So,
you.
well, I will formally, since we got the sheets turned in, I'll formally open up, number 12, which is action from public hearing to consider approval of resolution 1038-2021.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 1038-2021, authorizing the city managers to submit the 47th year CDBG project submittal for the city of River Oaks to Tarrant County Community Development.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1038-2021. All in favor, is there any further
So
discussion?
we're going against what got voted on, is what we're doing. Or, the sheets turned in were for street.
Right,
So we're gonna go to the sewer though.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it would focus on the staff designation. We could certainly, if it's council's desire to
No,
kick it back and
no,
ask them to come up with,
asking a question.
we are, yeah. I mean, that is what's, you know, before us is right now is this particular project. So, is there any further discussion?
Just assume goes on with what staff recommends, they're the best ones to know what we need.
I mean, I agree, certainly the streets are a priority, but given the, what's in front of us, I think that this is a good project that staff identified. So,
I'm just noting that we're going against what got unanimous, the most votes.
that's fair.
I'm not gonna vote against it.
Was there any further discussion? Sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you are bringing back street proposals too.
Yes, sir, that'll be in the next workshop.
Thank you.
After the final.
Along with a lot of other things. Be a 12-hour workshop. Okay, so we've already done item 13, so we'll move to item 14, which is consider approval of ordinance number 1299-2021, amending section 12.04.003, special speed zones by incorporation of section 12.04.003E, Yale Street, designating a special speed zone of 25 miles an hour on Yale Street, beginning at the intersection of Yale Street and River Oaks Boulevard, and then north to the intersection of Yale Street and River Oaks Boulevard. Robert's Cutoff. Okay.